Hi, I hope you've had a fairly good weekend and a good Monday. I just want to tell you a little story about something I was thinking about earlier. Um, I was doing a little digging, trying to think of a quote, and I couldn't remember it. So I started throwing pieces of it into Google to see what I could find, and then I thought about um, former Representative Mickey Michaud. Um, Sometimes he would quote things, and he would just stand up and extemporize and just say them. And so I went searching in the House Journal to see if his remarks from his last days in session were actually quoted, and they were. And one of the things that he quoted was from Purlie Victorious, which brought a memory back to me. Purlie Victorious was a Broadway musical. It was a Broadway play written by Ossie Davis and a couple of other gentlemen, and he and Ruby Dee starred in it in 1961, and then it became a musical in the 1970s. And my parents took me, I think, for my brother and I, for my 8th birthday, I think, to New York City, and that was one of the things that we saw. And the reason I think Peel was there, I know Peel was there and he was little, was because he fell asleep. We were in the balcony and Melba Moore was singing. She and Cleavon Little were starring in the musical, and her voice was huge. And he fell asleep, and I could never understand how in the world he could go to sleep with that voice so loud. But this is what is the benediction at the end of the play or the musical. Um, so Cleavon Little's character is Purlie, and he has come back home to be a preacher. And this is the last thing he says. Tonight, my friends, I find in being black a thing of beauty, a joy, a secret cup of gladness, a native land, neither time nor place, a native land in every black person's face. Be loyal to yourself, your hair, your lips, your southern speech, your laughing kindness. A black person's kingdom is vast as any other. Accept in full your sweetness of your blackness, not wishing to be white, nor red, nor yellow, nor any other race or face but this. Farewell, my deep and African American brothers and sisters, and white Caucasian brothers and sisters. Be brave. Keep freedom in the family. Do what you can for the white folks, and write me in care of the post office. And now, may the Constitution of the United States go with you, the Declaration of Independence stand by you, and the Bill of Rights protect you henceforth, now and forever. Um, this this made such an impression on me. This is my first time seeing a Broadway musical, and it was about black people and how they had to deal with white people, and there were so many stories attached to that. And so the first story was just, I was excited because we were going to ride a train from Raleigh to New York City. And on the before we left, I think our train was leaving at 11 o'clock that night. Mama took us to North Hills. There was a newsstand at North Hills, and we went to get I guess a newspaper or a book to read or something to have on the train with us for part of the ride. And on the way home, coming down Anderson Drive, she had a flat tire. She had a flat tire right in, this was in 1968, 60, maybe 1970, 71. I don't remember exactly the year, but it was an all-white neighborhood. And here we were, a black family. And of course, she was concerned because that was before the advent of cell phones. Hey, Kim. Hey, Alita. And it wasn't a time that, you can whip out a cell phone and call somebody to come help. So it was dark. It was probably about 9 or 9:30. Hi, Imelda. And she had to go to somebody's house, knock on their door, and ask if she could use their phone. that's not what black people did in white neighborhoods at dark, 0:30 at night. But she did, and it just happened to be an Asian family, and they were kindness in itself. And I remember, they let her come in and make the phone call. Peel and I stayed out in the car, and she came back to the car and stayed with us. And we didn't become like family friends, but I remember they exchanged Christmas cards for years after that, just because she was so pleased that they were kind to her. So we got to the train station. It was where Seaboard Station is now. That was the Raleigh train station. And we got to the train station, and Daddy had bought tickets for sleeper cars. And he gave the tickets to the conductor and was headed to the sleeper car. And I remember the conductor calling him a boy and telling him we couldn't we couldn't have those seats. We'd have to go sit somewhere else because I don't remember if he used the N word or not, but I know he said something derogatory and said y'all can't be in there. And of course, Daddy was upset because he had paid for those tickets and they weren't refunded. But during that, he had his family with him, so he took us back to the car where we were told were allowed to sit. And I was still young, I was 8, but it was the first time I'd seen my father have to back up from something that was not right in order to protect his family. And so we got in the train, and we went to New York City. Um, and it was an experience. We stayed in a hotel across the street from Madison Square Gardens. I remember getting my school outfit. My birthday's in August, so I remember getting a new outfit for school that year. But it did make a big impression on me that my daddy, who I adored, was treated poorly. And I knew better than to ask questions. Um, Probably because Mama hit me, tapped me and was like, be quiet," because that was one of the things my daddy always said. I was the why child. I always had a question, and even the answer to the question would bring up another question. But when I saw that quote today, it brought that memory back up for me. And it's amazing how young we are when our memories start to tell us that something is not right, and there's nothing that we can do about it. And so I just wanted to share that with you today. um, there were good and bad memories, and I just wanted you to know that. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.